Welcome everyone to Side Draft and welcome to another episode of In the Draft. Last time we talked about the Xfinity Series. This time we're going to talk about the Cup Series. So if this is your first In the Draft video, how we do things. We're going to talk about the drivers that's currently in the draft that are doing well, drivers that are catching the draft, they're maybe really close to being in the draft, and then the drivers that's not so fortunate and aren't in the draft currently, but maybe they'll turn their luck around.
Kind of lost the draft a little bit, so they can make things better.
So let's talk about the front runners.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, I ain't gonna say there's anybody that's pretty much dominated this season so far. I mean, we know we went through 5 races, and we're just gonna see how the performance has been in the last 5 races.
5 races, 5 different
5
winners.
different tracks. I mean,
Yes.
different kinds of tracks. But yeah, so we're gonna start with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin
was really dominant last season. Hasn't got that win just yet, but he's had some pretty solid finishes.
Yeah, I think he's probably been the most one that's been more the consistent type sort of finishes anyway. Because he finished 5th at Daytona 500. They go to the road course. You got 3rd and 11th at Homestead, 4th at Vegas, and 3rd at Phoenix. So, I mean, he's staying pretty much consistent up toward the front.
Yeah, and consistency is really what wins championships nowadays.
Yeah, because the competition right now is so tight. I mean, it's so tight. I mean, if you're not in that group, it's going to be kind of hard to catch up.
Yeah, definitely so. But yeah, Denny Hamlin, he's been able to deliver, just not deliver the trophy just yet. But got some good tracks for him coming up.
So he hasn't got the victories yet, but he's definitely staying consistent up towards the front. And the second one we're going to talk about will be Brad Keselowski.
So Brad Keselowski, he has been one of the few drivers that has been really consistent but also had bad luck.
Yeah, he's been kind of close up to where Denny's consistency is. He started out Daytona. I mean, he almost won Daytona, but with the crash towards the last lap, he got a bad bump draft, and I mean, who knows? He could have been in victory lane, and we've been put him at the very top. But you finished 13th in that race, 15th at the road course. Went to Homestead, finished 16th. I mean, 13th, 15th, 16th. That's pretty consistent, right? Then he turned it around at Vegas, where he finished 2nd and 4th at Phoenix.
And Vegas and Phoenix, and even Homestead, he led laps. He just hasn't been able to close out and get a win just yet. But everyone saw him as the favorite at Phoenix. Penske has been pretty fast, just hasn't been able to get the win.
Yeah, because the Penske organization, they're running strong right now. And speaking of his teammate, let's go with Joey Logano.
I think Joey Logano is the best driver currently in the Cup Series, at least for this season. Almost won Daytona, but got spun. And then went to the road course, got barely edged out by Christopher Bale. And Phoenix, he was pretty strong. Vegas, he was strong. Homestead, he was strong. He was just pretty much strong in every race so far this season, but he just hasn't been able to get the speed in Stage 3.
Yeah. Homestead wasn't too great for me. I believe he finished 25th. But, I mean, he's always leading laps, running up front. Somehow he manages to be up front towards the end. I wouldn't count out Joey Logano. He's got a good crew chief, good team. So, I mean, right now, Penske, all 3 teams are leading right now.
Yeah.
They've led laps. They've been fast. So,
just none of them have been able to get.
Can't lead on that last lap.
Yeah. Logano should have won Phoenix, but had that caution towards the end that pretty much helped Truex out and helped Truex win.
Yeah. And speaking of Truex Jr., here's the next one we're going to go to. And I was going to put him kind of in the catching the draft because his first couple of races wasn't too great. 24th. And then he ran 12th at the road course. I mean, I thought he was pretty dominant. Going to be pretty dominant, in the road course because he's a good road course racer. But I believe he got a little edged out. Him and Chase and some others got into it and kind of pushed him out. And he came back to finish 12th. So, and then a third place and sixth place, and then he wins at Phoenix. So.
At a track that he didn't win at before. Best finish was second, and that was a track everyone thought he would struggle at, but goes in there and outduels Logano, and now he's locked into the playoffs. So I think, yeah, definitely in the draft. Now he has nothing to worry about other than just get more stage points, playoff points, whatever it takes to set himself up pretty good in the playoffs.
Yeah, because I really ain't sure which organization is the dominant right now. Because I mean, Gibbs, they're running good. They've won races, and Penske, they're running good, but they hadn't got the finishes yet. And then we moved to Hendrick Motorsports, and they look like they've won quite a bit this year.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what we talk about next. We're going with Kyle Larson. It's great for that team. He's come here with a new team, changed the number, and he hadn't missed a beat. He come out of the gate pretty strong.
Yeah, got that win at Vegas, and it's like, wow, I did not expect him to win this early on, new team, and just be able to click on all cylinders. And
even at the Daytona road course, he was running pretty decent. He tried to dive bomb that one turn and kind of overturned it and finished 30th. So that's his worst race. And then he's got 10th at Daytona 500, or 4th at Homestead. He wins Vegas and then comes back to finish 7th at Phoenix. So.
And at Phoenix, he had one of the fastest cars. He just kept having speeding penalties. So I think once that team is able to really focus and hone in on their strengths, they will be.
So he's fast everywhere. He's even fast on pit road.
Yeah. So yeah, once that team is able to focus on the strengths, man, they're gonna be fast.
Yeah, I'll be careful to watch out for this team here because this looks pretty strong for the championship right now. And let's go with his teammate right now, Chase Elliott. Oh, I hear everybody screaming now.
Yes. Chase hasn't had the season I thought he would so far, but it's not bad right now.
No, definitely not. I mean, Chase, he hadn't been really consistent and got the speed like his teammates have had, but he's finished well. I mean, his worst finish is 21st at the road course. He ran good at the road course. He just got in some trouble in it, and then he's got a second at Daytona 500, which at a certain point of caution he might have won that race.
Yeah,
you know,
he was just that close.
He was just right there, you know, and. Finished 14th at Homestead, 13th at Vegas, and come back 5th at Phoenix.
So, not the greatest year so far, but also not the worst.
I mean, they just got to work a little bit harder, and they're gonna get. I believe he's due for a win after his teammates have done one now. And we're gonna go to the Ford camp now with Kevin Harvick.
Kevin, he was in the danger zone of going to the catch in the draft category.
I mean, if first started out, I thought he was going to be the most consistent. You know, he managed to get through the road course, which is he just hates. And
yeah,
well, he finished 6th at the road course, and I thought, man, he's going to be finishing in the top 10. He'll be, pretty good at the points, but Vegas wasn't too good with him.
No, Vegas, they just missed the setup. I wasn't able to do anything in Vegas. And then Phoenix, that team used to be really strong at Phoenix, and then now they've just kind of been okay at Phoenix.
I don't know what happened. If it's just, is it the 750 package, or is it, or what is it? You know, before I don't know if he's got the practice and everything in there. He just comes to, I don't know if it's just a certain setup. He was just.
I think really it's the PJ1 that they do now, and he's normally better when they're all at the bottom, and then when they're all running at the top, he's not really the best at Phoenix. But we're going to Atlanta next, and I think Atlanta is a great testament of seeing where Kevin Harvick is. Is he going to be dominant like he was last season, or is he just going to be a top 10 driver all season long?
We don't know. Maybe he's just like, what's used to me winning 9 races and you go to the end and I lose everything. But yeah, I believe Phoenix. I mean, I thought he's going to run pretty strong. Yeah, yes, like you said, when he runs the bottom, he just got this certain way he gets into the corners that just made him faster. But they brought this PJ1 for better grip, and everybody runs up there, and I don't know. I just couldn't get a handle on that yet.
So Kevin's one to watch. Definitely, he'll either rise to the top, or he will maybe go back to the catch in the draft category.
I don't know. He's kind of quiet this year. We'll see what happens. Last year he just come out of the gate really strong and knocking off a lot of wins. So I wouldn't count them out. They just got a little bit of work to do yet. And the next one we're going to talk to you about, and the last one in this category. I mean, I had to put a bunch in this category anyway because it's really hard to say who is a dominant in the draft. But the last one we'll talk about in this category will be Christopher Bale.
Yeah, already got his first win of his Cup Series career, outdueling Joey Logano at the road course. Great start to the season for him.
I mean, it's kind of quiet. Last year, as a rookie and all, and just, I don't know if it's just because they didn't have the top tier team. It was like Joe Gibbs' affiliated team, but it just didn't have all the equipment and resources that he needed. So once he moved into the 20 car, now he's just awesome.
Now he's got Adam Stevens. Everything's going to be
great crew chief.
Great for him this season.
So finished 7th at Vegas, 9th at Phoenix. I mean, ain't bad, but he's just right there getting a handle of these cars, and I believe he's going to do well.
So now let's move to the catch in the draft. Either the ones that's maybe just fallen out of the draft, or they've had some good finishes that has allowed them to be in that category.
Yeah, these here just hadn't had the consistency like the ones in the top category. And the driver I want to talk about now, he has a win, but I put him in catching the draft. That's William Byron, because his first couple races it's just pretty bad.
Yeah, and then goes the Homestead, dominating fashion win, and then it's kind of tapered off again.
Yeah, so Vegas and Phoenix, he finished 8th. Well, that's consistency right there. I'm finishing 8th now, but yeah, he's doing good.
They're doing fairly well. I think in a couple more 8th place finishes, he'll be in the draft.
Yeah. And the next one we talk about is Kurt Busch. Really hadn't been too consistent. I mean, it's really hard to tell where he's actually driving right now.
Probably the racetrack.
Probably the racetrack.
Yeah, he had a really strong car at Homestead, but just had some issues, tire issue. Probably could have challenged William Byron for the win there, but unfortunately, he had those issues.
Yeah, man, he's come back 8th. And let's see where I got him now. I lost my place. 4th at the road course. That's pretty good.
Yeah, in the road course, he flew off into the grass, didn't damage the car, and he was able to still get a top 5.
That was awesome. Just you go through the grass, you get all stuff on the grill, and you come back and you finish 4th. I mean, that's pretty great. But Phoenix and Vegas, they haven't been too good for him. He finished 19th at Vegas, 15th at Phoenix, so he's kind of just still mid-pack.
Still whiffing the draft, maybe.
Yeah, he's just slightly could be losing it. And then we're going to move on to Austin Dillon. Dillon had a good run at 500. He finished 3rd there, so he was looking to maybe win that race, but come a little short. Then had a bad race at the road course to finish 34th, and then 12th at Homestead, and 12th at Vegas. Like, I'm gonna be consistent. Then he lost a little bit and finished 17th at Phoenix. So he's still
not necessarily out of the draft, but not in the draft just yet. But he had he has some runs in the top 10, just hasn't been able to finish there.
Yeah, so right now he's 12th in points, so he's not too much to be alarmed, but he just needs some work. Work a little harder, catch these other teams, because right now the ones in the top 10 are just doing a super job and staying up front week to week. And we're going to talk about the other Penske, Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney.
He has been pretty much all over the place at the beginning of the season. Got in a crash early on the Daytona 500 before the rain delay. And then even before the season started, was about to win the Clash. Chase Elliott wrecked him at the end. Really, Blaney wrecked himself, but yeah, just hasn't been able to get that win, as we talked before.
But it looks like they're starting to turn the corner a little bit. Come back to 5th place at Vegas. Looked pretty strong there. Come back to Phoenix, led laps, and finished 10th. So I think they're heading in the right direction. They're just catching that draft a little better than others and kind of going toward the front. And we're going to talk about Alex Bowman. He's just been kind of quiet this year.
Yeah, we expected maybe he'll make some noise in the 48 car, and he really hasn't done that much, but still some promise there.
Yeah, he's kind of up and down. Is just, who knows what's going on. I mean, anything, Daytona 500, it's a survival, and he didn't survive too good. He's finished 35th there. Come back to the road course, finished 10th. 9th at Homestead, and then he goes to Vegas and finished 27th. So, and Phoenix finished 13th, so I ain't sure. They're still mid-pack though.
Yeah, but that is everyone that was catching the draft in our categories. Now let's move to the ones that's not so fortunate that are losing the draft at this moment.
Yeah, the ones that's losing the draft, and I was real hesitant about putting this one in losing the draft, but he just hadn't been performing the way he should, and I know he's very verbal when he's not running well, and that's Kyle Busch. I mean, I know he can turn the season around. They're either great or they're not, and it looked like just turning the corner. They come back 10th at Homestead, a 3rd at Vegas, and think, oh, they're looking pretty good. But I ain't sure what happened at Phoenix. He just lost it and finished 25th.
It got spun by Ross Chastain. Not very good. He was looking to be promising to get into the catching the draft category, but Phoenix just moved him back into the losing the draft spot. But I think it's just going to take some time for him to get used to the crew chief. And those frustrations are either going to take over and he'll stay in the losing the draft category, or he'll get over those frustrations, focus in, and head back to victory lane before too long.
Yeah, I think without having the practices like they did before, really tune on the cars, it's really messed Kyle Busch up a little bit. If the car ain't exactly right, it's just way off, and it's very frustrating for him. But we're going to Atlanta, and we'll see if it turns around, if it makes it better, or if he just still struggles. And we'll switch to another driver. Went to a new team now with Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace, that has been the story of the season. Will that team perform like a Gibbs car, or will it be losing the draft? And at this moment, it is losing the draft. Just had a promising moment at Phoenix, but that's pretty much been it.
Yeah, Daytona, like he's had a decent run and kind of got in some trouble and lost all that. So yeah, he's got a 17th at Daytona 500, a 26th at the road course, 22nd at Homestead, 28th at Vegas, and 16th at Phoenix. So it's really hard to tell where he's running. I mean, it's a new team, so it's really hard to say it's terribly bad, but we'll just see how the team's going to go in the future.
It's been kind of a reality check for that team. They thought, well, we got Gibbs equipment. We're going to go there and we're going to win. And then they go first couple races, some bad luck streak happens to them. Just hasn't been able to get the runs that they needed to, and they just need to focus in and see how they can improve.
Definitely so. It's always hard for a brand new team to come out of the gate and just be real successful. And it's like they're consistent around the 20 finishing position. So we'll see if he improves.
But Phoenix was pretty promising up until they made that call to stay out. And
why'd you stay out?
Just gotta try something. Go big or go home, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes staying out works out, but most of the time it don't. And if you stay out and get a caution, you're looking pretty good. But if you don't get a caution, and everybody's questioning, why'd you do that? So they're just trying to get a little spark going and trying to get some good finishes. Then we're going to talk about a couple of rookies here. Chase Briscoe.
Oh yeah, Chase Briscoe. That's a guy that I wanted to see do very well this season, but so far I kind of like how with Bubba Wallace and that team, it's kind of a reality check for them. They just go into the Xfinity Series. Briscoe dominated, then goes to the Cup Series, and everyone beats up on him pretty much. Runs into him. Pretty much every race, started the race, he ran into somebody. Most of the time it's been Bubba Wallace. So for whatever reason, they just got to figure out how to keep the car clean, and which most of the time it wasn't his fault, but
Yeah, I believe when Christopher Bale and Cole Custer come into the Cup Series, the rookie year, they kind of struggle a little bit. And it's kind of the same deal here with Chase Briscoe. He's in good equipment. He just got to figure out these cars and how they handle. I feel like he's consistent from 19th to 20th, and he had a 32nd place at the road course. So he's right there at the top 20s.
But one race he might be looking forward to is the Bristol Dirt Race. Maybe that will give him some momentum. So I think that team just needs, kind of like I said before with the 23, just reality check and focus on how to get better.
Yeah, so like I say, the top 10 teams, they're just on it right now, and they're really hard to beat. If you're just a little off your game, you're just going to drop like a rock.
Definitely so.
So the next rookie we're going to talk about is Anthony Alfredo. He goes to Richard Childress Motorsports. Got a great ride here, but it's just hadn't had the success right there.
Yeah, with front row, he just hasn't been able to get the finishes. There's been always something strange happening. I believe Cody Ware got into him at Phoenix, and just just kind of that reality check, as I said before.
Yeah, because his best finish is 22nd. He was at the road course. And then he's got a couple 30 place finishes as well. So, it's very tough for rookies to come into the Cup Series and be successful. And just keep your nose clean and just try your best. And let's talk about Tyler Reddick. He's going to be the last one to talk about right now. He's 27th in points right now.
Yeah, definitely not what we thought. Cole Custer and Tyler Reddick, they've been kind of quiet. For whatever reason, Christopher Bell's just been able to outperform those two drivers. But with Reddick, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, Homestead is about his best run. He finished second there, but just because he knows the high line, he knows Homestead is a really great place for him to run. But everywhere else has been 22nd on back. So I just ain't sure what's going on there, because we got Austin Dillon.
Wrong series, man.
To me, Austin's in here. But we got Austin Dillon. He's running up towards the top 15. But Tyler Reddick, he's back here marred up in the 20s.
Yeah, another track he's pretty great at is Kansas. So we'll have to see if he can maybe bring some of that magic later on. Atlanta might be pretty good for him as well. You just got to get some momentum somewhere.
Yeah, I ain't sure if he's going to like the dirt at Bristol.
He's got some Kyle Larson attributes. I just don't think he has the dirt quite down. But who knows? He might surprise us.
Maybe. I just thought that 8 car would run a little better this year.
But that is our list. What's your list? Let us know in the comments below. Who's in the draft, out of the draft, or catching the draft? We want to know.
Yeah, we're going to come back here about mid-season. Or we may just like
every 5 races
every
or
5 races or 10 or whatever, and just see how they're doing. I mean, we can't go through all the drivers because then we'll be here for hours just talking about them. We'll just kind of hit on some key players here. If we didn't mention your driver, just comment down below. Just tell us how they're doing, which category you think they would be in.
Yeah. Who knows? We might make this a power ranking series or something. I don't know. Really depends on how well received it is. But yeah, let us know what you think of our ranking, and click subscribe and be a part of that draft.